Hey team, welcome to this super duper important lesson today. We're talking about weekend survival. The weekend can be a time where a lot of people really do kind of trip up, fall over with the great progress they've made during the week. So now we're going to talk about how we can overcome that and why it happens initially and how we can overcome that. So this is how you can enjoy your weekends without having to undo all your progress. So I call it the weekend trap, okay? In the weekdays, we have discipline. At the weekends, we tend to have a bit more chaos in life. So generally, this is how it works, yeah? You smash Monday to Friday, meal prep sorted, workouts ticked off, water intake on point, you're building momentum and you feel unstoppable. Put my teeth back in my face there. Then, Friday night arrives, okay? You've had a couple of drinks, glass of wine or two. A takeaway appears because you're like, you know what? It's the weekend. Let's enjoy ourselves. Let's switch off. And suddenly, your trainers are sat on the side gathering a bit of dust. Your gym kit's gathering dust. 2 days later, Monday morning, you're wondering what the hell happened. Why has your progress failed? And you're like, this isn't fair. Why me? Essentially, is probably what most people are thinking. Now, here's the truth behind it, okay? Most people make brilliant progress in the week. They've got structure. You know, you've got work, you've got events you need to get to, you've got proper structure. Habits are going to flow more naturally. Results follow when you build habits. You know, I always bang on about habits. That's why, because results follow habits. But when the weekend hits, the wheels come off. We tend to have less kind of structure, so the habits don't quite flow as nicely. It's a lot more difficult to do it. You're probably going to have different sleeping patterns, so that can affect your water retention. You'll be eating different types of food, you know. You'll be drinking a bit more alcohol maybe. All these different things come into it. So Friday nights roll around, and suddenly, when you're having drinks with mates, a spontaneous takeaway, I'll start again on Monday mindset comes back in, and before you know it, you've undone loads of work that you did in the week with just a couple of days of just kind of like taking your foot off the gas a little bit. Now, I'm not saying you have to be perfect over the weekend, but try not to just completely let loose. Try and have half an eye on the ball, because we're still trying to achieve something here, aren't we? So half an eye on the ball will really, really help with that. So you can be absolutely perfect Monday to Friday, and the weekend can actually take you right back. So you always feel like you're swimming upstream, rather than, say you did a really good job Monday to Friday, then had a good weekend, you know, you still enjoyed yourself with friends and family and whatever, you start Monday in a good place so you can build another good week, okay? The weekends aren't necessarily the problem, it's the lack of planning at the weekend. We generally don't have strategies at the weekend. So without a strategy for navigating social events, having less structure, there's more temptation around. Even the most disciplined people really struggle with this. So this doesn't mean your weekends need to be boring at all or too restrictive. It simply just means having a bit more of a plan, keeping half an eye on the ball, okay? So why do weekends go wrong, first and foremost? Well, generally, it boils down to these four things. First up is the all or nothing mindset. So you've been good all week, so you deserve a reward, deserve to take a break. One treat becomes three, because it's very difficult to control that when you're in the kind of flow of eating treats and eating nice, satiating foods, and suddenly you're in full kind of cheat mode swing, okay? The permission to indulge turns into permission to just abandon everything. You convince yourself, I'll start Monday, it doesn't matter. But when Monday comes around, you're demotivated because you just feel a bit crappy. You know, you probably haven't done a great deal of damage in terms of gaining body fat, but you're not going to be in a good place from a resting standpoint, from a mentality standpoint. It's not ideal to start the week well. The lack of structure comes in as well, so there's no alarm clocks, there's no set meal times, there's no scheduled workouts. Without your kind of weekday framework, decision fatigue kicks in, you start stressing, you start panicking, every choice feels harder, and the path of least resistance usually wins, which is generally do nothing. Social pressure and spontaneity. So your mates suggest you go to the pub for lunch, absolutely fine. Someone's having a barbecue in the evening, absolutely fine. Dinner plans appear out of nowhere. These are all fine, but the kind of spontaneous nature of it, and if they happen more than once or twice, is actually going to really kind of put you back again. So just try and have a bit more routine is what I'm saying when we get into the weekends, especially with social pressure and things like that. Still want you to enjoy yourself, but if you're going out for a meal, maybe control the rest of your calories during that day. Or if you go into a barbecue, have like loads of salads and lean meats and stuff like that. You know, there's ways around it, guys. And then we've got the spiral effect as well. So one unplanned meal turns into, well, I've already blown it. That kind of feeling creeps into our heads and we're like, oh, sod it, because I've already messed up, because I've had one unplanned meal. That isn't how it works, okay? That pizza on a Friday becomes an excuse for fry up on a Saturday, Sunday roast dinner, treat yourself Friday and Sunday evening, all that stuff, and you think I'll restart Monday. Now, one meal should not derail 2 full days, and we'll talk about that in a second, okay? It's not the pizza that ruins the progress. One pizza doesn't make you fat. Trust me on that. It's the pressing the F it button after having that pizza, thinking, oh, I'll have this tomorrow, that tomorrow, alcohol, all sorts, and it just kind of piles up. One thing doesn't make you fat, doesn't make you gain body weight, okay? So, the weekend survival mindset right here. Before we look into tactics and strategies, let's get your head in the right place first, yeah? Your mindset around weekends will determine whether you thrive or whether you spiral. So these shifts can change everything. Aim for 80%, not 100%. Talk about this all the time. We don't want to be perfect. The only way is down when you're trying to be perfect all the time. Consistency is what we're looking for. If you nail 80% of your habits over the weekend, you are going to be in a great place going into Monday. You don't need to be flawless. You just need to be good enough to maintain your progress. Have some anchor habits in there as well. So even on your most relaxed days, stick to your non-negotiables. Yeah, 10,000 steps. Trying to get protein in each meal, trying to hydrate to a good standard. These anchors are going to keep you grounded when everything else just feels a little bit kind of fluid and flexible. Plan for flexibility, because there will happen. We do want to have flexibility in life, of course we do. So social meals are not the enemy in this. Lack of planning in and around those social meals is. So know which meals you're going to be flexible with and which will help keep you on track. So if you're going out for a meal in the evening, make sure your breakfast and lunch are good quality food. Make sure you're drinking plenty of water in the day if you know you're going boozing that evening. Things like this, just having a bit of plan in and around it. The next day, if you've been drinking on a Saturday night, on Sunday, make sure we're back on plan with good, healthy, wholesome foods. Don't let it derail and have takeaways and all sorts because you're feeling crappy. That's where you got to try and stay strong, okay? And then don't wait until Monday. If Saturday's lunch goes off plan, say you go out for a meal with a friend and you have something you feel isn't going to help you with your goals, your next meal is the opportunity to reset, okay? You don't have to think, oh, I'll wait till Monday, because that's where the damage happens. Between Saturday lunchtime and thinking, oh, it doesn't matter now until Monday, that's where the damage happens. Saturday lunch, absolutely fine. If it wasn't the healthiest, I'll put in air quotes, meal, doesn't matter. Next meal, back on it. Maybe go to the gym then on the Sunday morning, something like this, okay? Don't wait till Monday morning. You don't need to start again. That's not what we want to look at here. We just need to get back on track with the next opportunity. So the little triangle below represents your 3 pillars for weekend success. And if you get these right, you will navigate any social situation easy peasy. Mindset, movement, meals. Think about those 3 things. Mindset in the right place. Movement, are we moving? Meals, what are they looking like, okay? Get those 3 things nailed, you will be in a great place going into a new week. So, the weekend's nutrition blueprint. Right, let's get stuck into this. So weekends don't require perfection, guys, like I keep banging on about. They just require a bit more strategy. So here's a little bit of a framework for navigating your meals, socials, and those moments when temptation strikes. So first up, have a lighter breakfast if you're going out later. Planning a big dinner or drinks in the evening, start your day with something lighter but satisfying. It could be Greek yogurt with berries, could be eggs on toast, could be a protein smoothie, something like that, something that's got a good portion of protein in. You're not starving yourself, because that's going to be counterproductive further down the line, because you'll be starving, hungry, and eat everything in sight at dinner time. You're giving yourself good quality food, and you're going to set yourself up for success later. Prioritize protein in every meal, like I just spoke about. Whether you're cooking at home or eating out, protein's the main anchor, okay? Chicken, fish, eggs, Greek yogurt, lean beef, keep these in your diet. They're going to make you feel fuller for longer, and they're going to prevent you snacking throughout the day that will eventually cause you to be derailed, okay? Hydrate before drinking. Drink plenty of water if you're going out for a few beers in the evening. Down a pint of water. Alternate between alcoholic drinks. So this is a good one, actually. If you have an alcoholic drink, then have a glass of water straight after it. Then continually do that. Whenever you have an alcoholic drink, you will feel a hell of a lot better the next day. You can track your alcohol like any other calorie source. This is something that you can do. I don't necessarily recommend it all the time, but something you can think about just so you know what's in booze, really. The weekend pints and what glasses of wine add up a lot of calories into your daily diet. So a couple of beers can be 400 plus. A large glass of wine can be 500-600 calories. It's actually crazy how many calories is in booze, and the calories don't get used for anything useful. They just kind of, your body wants to get rid of it, so you just kind of sweat it the next day. So yeah. You can track it if you want. I wouldn't necessarily say track it all the time, but it's good to have a look at what's in the alcohol that you're drinking in terms of calories, so you might think twice about having 15 of them, all right? Just to be aware of that, okay? Then if you overeat, move on, don't spiral. Don't think like, oh, bugger it, I've messed up now, I might as well mess up all weekend. No, if you've had a massive meal, don't let that guilt turn into an entire weekend off plan. The next meal's a fresh start, no punishing cardio, no skipping meals, just make the next one a good meal, okay? Pro tip here is going to be to order first at restaurants. When you confidently choose like the grilled fish and the salads, you'll influence the table as well. So order first. Don't let other people's decisions sway you. That's just a little pro tip I've got there for you guys. Now, the weekend movement framework. So movement doesn't need to be complicated. You don't need to make it too over complicated to what's the word I'm looking for? Over consuming, time consuming is kind of what I'm looking for on weekends, okay? The goal isn't to smash yourself in the gym, it's to stay active, get a bit of momentum with your movement, okay? Feel good about it. So first thing is get one workout done early, okay? Friday evening, Saturday morning, tick off a really good solid workout that you gave everything in, okay? Number 2 is to stay active throughout the weekend, so walks with the dogs, walk with the kids, kicking a football, bike rides, whatever. Don't need to be formal workouts, go and do something to keep active. Going for walks on the weekend is a no-brainer, guys, honestly. Steps are your anchor, that feeds into the walking as well, doesn't it? So aim for 10 to 12k steps across Saturday and Sunday. This is kind of like a non-negotiable. It's the foundation of any level of health and fitness, whether it's walking to the shops, strolling whilst on the phone, whatever. Just keep moving, okay? And then balance activity with rest. So we need to recover, we need to rest as well. Make sure you are not feeling guilty about resting because it's required. It's required from a physical as well as an emotional standpoint. And just making sure you don't get too exhausted by continually thinking you have to do stuff all the time. Listen to your body, rest up, recover mentally and physically, get ready to go again on the Monday because we need to be refreshed mentally and physically for the Monday as well. So that's what we're looking at here. Train, move, play, rest. So train, one structured workout. Move, stay active, play, enjoy yourself, rest, recover properly, okay? That's the weekend movement framework. Then we have the 3-drink rule as well. These strategies are awesome, aren't they? So let's talk about booze now. Pretending it doesn't exist on weekends isn't realistic for most people. Don't expect you to just quit alcohol completely, but you don't need to be drinking like you're 21 every single weekend, all right? The 3-drink rule is quite simple. Limit yourself to 3 alcoholic drinks on any given occasion, whether it's Friday, Saturday, Sunday, whatever it is. Control. Drink alcohol while still enjoying a social setting. So this helps to keep social freedom. So these drinks are enough to relax, enjoy the atmosphere, feel part of the occasion, okay? You're not the person nursing one drink all night, awkwardly explaining why you're not drinking, and people like saying, oh, why aren't you drinking, all that stuff. You know, it happens. If you want to avoid that, you can. If you're happy to do that, by all means do it. But if you want to avoid that, you can do it this way. It limits your calories more because you're not having 10 pints, you're having 3, so obviously way less calories, and that's going to help obviously with losing body fat and actually feeling better. You avoid the hangover cravings, so the next day you're more likely to stay on track with food because you're not craving greasy foods, and it reduces the F-bomb decisions, okay? So late night kebabs, Deliveroo, when you're drunk. Basically, when we're drunk, we make bad decisions, not just with food, with everything, don't we? So try and limit that. Only having 3 drinks will limit that, okay? Bonus tip here as well, alternate each alcoholic drink with a glass of water. Like I spoke about before, you'll stay hydrated, you'll drink slower, and naturally limit your intake, and you'll wake up feeling infinitely better the next day. The reset ritual as well. So Monday morning arrives. Maybe you stuck to your plan perfectly. Maybe you had a wobble. Okay, either way, here's how you get straight back on plan without feeling guilty. Don't punish yourself with cardio. If you have an indulgent weekend, don't respond by killing yourself in the gym. It's just going to make your relationship with exercise worse and worse and worse. Punishment mentally breeds resentment, and that's what we don't want here, and that becomes unsustainable. So just return to your normal routine. No drama, no extremes. Get straight back to normal. Monday isn't about being perfect. It's just getting back to what you were doing the previous week. Let's just have another solid week. Usual breakfast, usual lunch, usual water intake. Being normal, or getting back to normality is the goal here. To treat Monday like any other day, even if you had a bit of a boozy weekend. Reflect on what worked. So take 5 minutes Sunday evening to think about your weekend, what went well, where did you struggle. A little bit of self-analysis goes a long way. What would you do differently next time, okay, next weekend? This isn't about beating yourself up. It's just about being honest with yourself, so how we can learn and how we can improve moving forward. And it's small weekly improvements that don't need massive changes. If you managed 8,000 steps last weekend, aim for 9 the weekend after, okay? If you have 5 drinks, go for 4 next weekend. If you had 2 takeaways, have 1 takeaway the next weekend. You know, this is the small kind of incremental changes we need to make. It's all you need to make. You don't need to make wholesale changes in life, and it will really help you progress every single week. Like I've said numerous times, the goal isn't to be perfect, it's to stay in complete control. Because progress is not linear, guys. Some weekends it will be brilliant, others it's going to be messy. What matters is your ability to reset when something doesn't quite go to plan. Learn from what happened and keep moving forward. Consistency over perfection wins every single time. If I had a pound for every time I said that, I would be I reckon I'd be a trillionaire. Now, your little weekend game plan to finish off here, okay? Enough theory, here's a bit of an action plan going into the next weekend. These 4 steps are going to help you put everything into practice and help these habits stick. Number 1 is to plan a social meal ahead of time. Look at your weekend, where's the social meal? If you're going out for a meal, have a look at it. Friday curry, Sunday roast, identify Identify it now, plan around it. What meals are you going to have around it? Make it structured. You're creating flexibility here, not restriction, so you can still go out and enjoy your meal. You don't have to track your calories in the meal. Just make sure in and around it, you're really on it, okay? Stick to those anchor habits, very important. So no matter what happens, protein at every meal, 10,000 steps, drink enough water, okay? Those 3 anchor habits are going to keep you grounded throughout the course of this weekend. The 3-drink rule, if you are drinking, go out, set your limit, no more than 3 drinks. If you have less than 3 drinks, boom, crack on. No more than 3 drinks, okay? And as an option, alternate it with water. You'll enjoy yourself, you'll stay in control, and you'll wake up feeling human the next day, and you won't be craving foods the next day. And then a bit of a reflection on Sunday night, take 5 minutes before bed. What worked, what didn't? You can write this down if you want. You can send it to me if you want. What will you adjust next weekend? Okay, this is going to build, this kind of reflection is going to build awareness. When we are aware of stuff, we can change it if needed. So the weekends do not have to be your enemy. They don't have to be the derailment of all your progress. With the right mindset, simple framework, and a bit of planning ahead, that talk today, fairly straightforward, wasn't it, and it's going to help you stay on track with your goals just by thinking a bit more about what we're doing at the weekends. So let's make the weekends work for you, not against you, okay? Hopefully that made sense. That's a really, really useful training today, guys. Make sure we utilize this as much as you can. If you feel yourself kind of going off track at the weekends, this is going to change the game. If you're not going off track at the weekends, amazing, but still take this on board and try and implement these habits and try and make the weekends even better, okay? Thank you for listening, guys. If you need me, you know where to find me. Drop me a message and I'll speak to you all in the next video.